Hello, this is Leanne, and today we're going to talk about why men won't give their partners what they need. I was talking to a friend and I was saying there'll be times where I'm in a disagreement with my spouse and we're talking about something, and I'll say, I just need a hug. I just need this thing. And he will not give it to me. And it is so frustrating because I'm like, I gave you the answer. I provided you the answer and you are still not doing it. And my friend was asking me, well, why does he do that? Like, why won't he give you what you need? And what I said was, and again, this is from my most evolved calm self. In the moment, it definitely lands different. But in my most evolved calm self, he's also having an emotional reaction. And I think when we are so consumed with our own needs, we forget that the other person is also reacting to our state of being. And so if I come at him with all this stuff and all this information, and often it's complaints, criticisms, critiques, like I'm coming in hot with something. And then what I'm asking for is, okay, now that I've done all that, I just need a hug. Well, he's not ready to give me a hug. He's not ready to meet me in that place. And so that then makes things worse because then the cycle starts that, well, see, you never give me, so I'm upset about this. And then see, you never give me what you need. You're not responding to my needs. You don't care. How often do I hear women feeling like their partners do not care? So for women, I think what we need to remember is that there are two people in the relationship and they are having a emotional reaction as well. And so as much as our needs are there, I mean, while our needs met, we also have to respect that their needs are there and they need their needs met. And so we kind of want to make sure that we're holding space for both people as people and not it doesn't get to be it's kind of like a childlike pattern, right? Like a kid acts whatever way they want and they don't really consider the parent. And that is parent child relationships. I to my children am not an equal person. I'm the parent and they're the full person. They take up the full space. We want to retrain ourselves in our relationships that this is not a parent child relationship. We are building something together. Unconditional love from our partner is not actually assumed. It's really in loving relationships. We're earning each other's love and trust all the time. We know this because you might say, oh, I unconditionally love my partner. But there's going to be a point where they hit something, they break something that's unfixable. So we're not really unconditionally loving each other. We are conditionally building a bank, a pool of love that we use. And so we need to be careful with our partners to not treat them as if they were our parent who's going to take anything we have to give and love us through everything that we're doing, because that's unrealistic. And so we want with our partners to be mindful. So women, we want to be mindful that they're also having an emotional reaction. And men too. You want to be mindful that your partner's having an emotional reaction if they're not meeting your needs in that moment. And if we have a bank of data that they're usually someone who meets your needs, then the assumption I wouldn't go to they don't care. I'd go to, oh, they're flooded. They're having a response. When we have this pursuer and withdrawing system, often women and men, but it can be either way, but someone's pursuing and the other person's withdrawing, what they find when they study people is that that is a fight or flight response. So both people are in fight or flight. And when we're in fight or flight, when we're in those modes, we go to the base part of our brain, our amygdala. So we're going to react how we react as, that's the withdraw and the pursue. Like someone's going to go step forward and try to get what they want, and the other person's going to back away and try not to be caught in this trap. So we're in an actual heightened state. And so we want to be really careful not to judge how we feel about each other based on what happens when we're in those heightened states, because heightened states are just, they're kind of our primal base place. So that's for women. We want to be mindful of their emotional reaction. For men, though, I think men need to be careful to not shut down. And I know it's so tempting. And I know that all this stuff is happening, but it's in that shutdown. I think of it like a fire. Like if a fire starts, we want to run away, right? Like that's our childlike reaction. I got to run away. I got to get away from a fire. Like, fire, run. That's a healthy response. Except if you're the adult there, if you're a parent, you see this, there's that initial fire, back up, but then we move forward because we need to contain the fire. And that's what happens in relationship dynamics. If your wife is getting really escalated, feeling a certain way, and you back away, what happens if if a fire starts in your house and you run out of the house? What happens is the fire gets larger and will burn the whole house down. If you step forward and extinguish the fire, contain the fire, yeah, the table's charred, but you still have a house to come home to. So when men are stepping back, they're allowing their partner, their wife, to burn uncontrolled, and that situation can burn your whole house down. And so I completely hear that it is intense when someone's coming at you with all their stuff and then want you to do something, say the right thing, hug them, step forward. And it feels like that's the last thing I want to do. But we really want to be careful in the beginning before the fire, because once the fire is too big, you can't come back into that house. And so what we want to make sure we're doing is, man, I want you, when things start to escalate, that's when you need to be stepping forward. How can we contain this? I'm feeling unsupported. That's not the time to back away. Okay, I'm going to go in the other room. I'm going to pretend like I didn't hear that. I'm going to nod. I'm feeling unsupported. I'm so sorry. I didn't want you to feel that way. Like, what do you need from me? I'm here. I'm here with you. How can I help? Like, step in. That's going to cut off a lot of these fires in a very manageable place, an easily recoverable place, versus letting it burn down and then trying to recover it. Some relationships get caught in a cycle of always starting something new. And really, what we want to do is get in the cycle of no longer letting these fires. Right now, we're talking about you're going to contain them once they start. Pro level is you can catch them before they start. You see the open flame and you step in. You don't let it start the fire. That's what, when we think about healthy relationships, I think a lot about Gary Chapman's The 5 Languages of Love. That's what that's about, is can we get enough, it's like a drought, like a forest that's too dry, drought level high. Can we keep our relationship in a place where there's enough moisture and enough rain and things aren't going to catch on fire that easy? And that's that love tank. If we let that love tank fall, we're just dealing with, like, every issue could be a forest fire. And so then I hear a lot, men, you're always complaining, you're never happy, you're never satisfied, you're always looking for a fight. And then I hear women, you're never present, you don't care, I need you to show up and you're not showing up, you keep not like, we get locked in these positions and we think, oh, the problem is that the man thinks the problem is that my wife's too critical and always nagging me and always, like, complaining. And the wife thinks the problem is that he's not showing up in these moments of conflict and he's backing away. And really, the problem is y'all's forest got way too dry. Y'all have not been putting in the daily rituals and the daily things to make sure that they're feeling that connection and that support, so that when things happen, they're not getting explosive and we're not trying to repair in the middle of a fire. So we need to make sure that in our relationships, we have these rituals where we're really staying connected. That daily rain shower. When I was in Maui, Maui is so gorgeous. It's like the most beautiful place. And they said it's going to rain every day and it will just be like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and it won't be disruptive. It's just like a warm rain and then it's over. That's how Maui stays so beautiful. In your relationship, you want to make sure there's that daily rain, that daily hydration. How am I hydrating my relationship? What am I pouring into my relationship today to keep this a space that can absorb a few sparks? And that's kind of the test of how dry your relationship is, how in need of these daily hydration, this connection, this rain, is how reactive are we to each other? And again, we love looking at that as a personal flaw. But when I look at it in a relationship, I see that as a systematic flaw. Like something's wrong in the system that everything is causing a fire. I'm picturing in Houston where there's a drought, you have to keep watering the lawn so that the foundation doesn't split. We have to be watering our relationships every single day. And I'm going to tell you the easiest way to do that. It's so simple, but it's so easy to miss. And again, like a drought, you don't notice how bad it's getting until it's really bad. If I'm waiting for my foundation to crack to realize how dry the soil is, I've gone too far and it's a lot harder to fix. If I'm waiting for the trees to turn brown, the grass to turn brown, I've already done damage. So we want to be catching this stuff early and making sure our rituals are tight. And we can check in with each other by just asking, how are you feeling? How connected are you feeling? And so here are the things that'll keep this relationship supple and able to hold a healthy and normal amount of conflict. Number one, rituals. You need tons of rituals in your family. A morning ritual. How are you greeting each other in the morning? A morning greeting should be intentional and loving, and it can be real quick. A hug in the morning, no matter what you're doing, hug, connect, I love you. You know your partner that you should know. If you don't know their love languages, learn their love languages, but really find out what fills them up. And you can do this from reading the book, but you could do this from talking. What in the morning makes you feel the most cared for? Oh, the way that you always have my coffee ready and greet me with a smile. The way that you hug me, the way that you pause whatever you're doing and smile at me and say good morning. Like we want this to really nail it from our intention to them. And we don't want to do, and a lot of women fall into this trap where we model what we want our partner to do so that somehow they'll do it. And we don't want to do that. We want to make sure we are clear on what they need and that they're clear on what we need. So we want to just be clear on what each other needs and make sure what you're doing is in alignment with what they need and not what you need or not what you think they should. You know, that morning ritual. You want your come home ritual, your come back to be a time of connection too. So when someone walks in the door, it's a real trigger for me if I walk in the door. Is before kids, because now no one's doing this. But before we had kids, I'd walk in the door, my husband would be watching a soccer game, and you kind of half-heartedly be like, hey, that would grind my gears. So what I needed was when I came home, the game to pause and him to get up and greet me, and then he could go back to it. But it's just that moment of touching base, of reconnecting. So again, I think a hug and a kiss and a hello, welcome home is a great way to do it, but there might be something better for you. So find out what works for you, those comeback rituals. And then the third, the wind down, the evening ritual. And this is where cell phones have really negatively impacted our relationships because we've lost a lot of our wind down rituals, that space of just being together in each other's comfort and reconnecting. It's like plugging your phone in at the end of the night, that really like charging up. And with phones, we're together but separate. So we're not getting that feedback from each other. And so this is what, again, look at what works for you as a couple. Is it we sit on the back porch and talk about the day for 20 minutes without the phone? Is it we watch a show together, but we put our phones aside and just watch the show and chat about that show? One thing I love doing, my husband will be washing dishes. I don't have to wash the dishes in our house, which I'm very grateful for. He'll be washing dishes and I'll just sit in the chair and chit chat with him. And for me, that fills me up of like just this time to reconnect. Another thing that I think is important that's really helped my marriage, try it out, a phone call on the way home. And the phone call on the way home is just not on speakerphone, not with the family. It's just you and your partner on the phone. Hey, how's your day? I'm on my way home. I'll be home at this time. What are you up to? Take the temperature. It is so much smarter to take the temperature. This can be a 5-minute check in. It doesn't have to be long. Get the temperature so that you know what you're walking into and they know what they're walking into. And so both of you kind of have a gauge. Where are we at? What are they needing? Because if I'm on the phone and my husband's like, the kids have been great. Everything's chill here. We're just relaxing. The miracle. Okay. I'm walking into a calm home. So maybe I'm like, let's get to bed. Let me just calm down. Like, let me be ready to sink in with the family. They're all chill. Or if he calls, he's like, it's been really stressful. It's really hard. Everyone's going crazy. then I'm walking in ready to help. Like, okay, I'm here. What do you need from me? What do you need? What can I do? Like, I'm on point. So we want that some way as you're coming in for a landing. Make sure you guys are just checking in. What is it? Because of course you're going to look like an unsupported partner unless you're a psychic. If you're not checking in, you assume, oh, it was fine this morning, so it'll be fine tonight. No, especially if you have kids. No, so much could have happened. And I find, and this could just be a me thing, but if I'm walking in the door and I have something I want to talk to my husband about and the kids are talking, it starts to feel overwhelming and I don't feel that connection with him. And that's why the phone calls help because I'm able to like tell him what I needed to tell him and have that time with him. And then we're there. My husband, he comes home later at night, a lot of nights. He's a coach. So we talk a lot on the way home with him. And it's just such a nice time to check in. And for women, I love this because it's not a heart to heart. We're not staring at each other's eyes. He's able to focus and chat with me, and I'm able to get the information I want about his day. So finding those little rituals, and those are things we just want to do on repeat. And that's my lawn looks the best when I'm watering it on its automated schedule. When I leave it to myself to be like, oh, I'll water the flowers, they always die because I forget or I get distracted or I overwater or I underwater. So you guys want to get that automated as quickly as possible so that it's just something that's happening in the background of your relationship, keeping things so that when conflict emerges, your relationship can absorb more. It doesn't have to react to everything. And then back to the original point, when things start to get tense, I want you to have a plan for that. So I have to always step back and realize I want to flood my husband with all this information. I want to say everything on my mind, but I know that that's not going to get me the results I want. So I need to, on my own, sift through and figure out what am I trying to get out of this conversation? What am I saying and why am I saying? Because if I just start listing complaints, he's going to shut down and now neither of us are going to get what we need. He needs to know what I need. And I want him to be still available to be in that conversation and not go into fight or flight and check out. And then when you see your partner getting upset, just step forward, step in, show them that you're in it with them. You can physically step in. You can put a hand on them. I hear you. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Like, tell me more. And this is where, especially when someone's coming to you with a complaint, your job is just to receive that as a supportive friend, not an involved party. Even if it's about me, can I be the supportive friend? Because from that lens, I'm able to be a much better partner than from a reactive, involved. It's like a car accident when you're like not allowed to admit fault. So you're never allowed to say sorry. So you just stand there like an accident has occurred. Like you're not able to be human. You're not, and you might get defensive. Well, you ran that light. I didn't do anything wrong. Like you're just on edge versus supportive friend. Something get messed up with that. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm here. What do you need? That's that stepping forward. That's being that supportive friend, hearing your partner out. And then you can figure out, okay, what's really going on here? Because most of the time it's not that bad. 9 times out of 10, fights are avoided in my house, not because we're perfect, not because we never mess up, but because most of the time it wasn't intentional. We didn't intend to hurt each other. We didn't intend for that to happen. We're able to catch it, reverse it, and move forward because we're able to my husband's able to listen as a supportive friend, and I'm able to share with clarity, and I'm not dragging him into it. I'm not triggering him. Well, you were lazy. You don't care about me. You never show up. I'm able to say, hey, when you didn't call me when you said you were going to, it made me feel like you didn't care, and I was left waiting for you, and that hurt my feelings. Him as a reactive partner. You don't call me either. There's plenty of times you haven't called me. So I don't like it's so easy to go there. But him as the supportive friend, oh my gosh. Yeah, I can see how that'd be really annoying. Like, yeah, I definitely did not intend to make you feel that way. And I'm so sorry you felt that way. Like next time I'll call and see. So just can we just stay with it long enough, stay in our wise selves enough to come back towards each other and to avoid setting the whole thing. So Your homework, practice those rituals, be really intentional in fights, catch it early and catch it fast, step forward, not back. Be really clear on what you're trying to get out of the conversation before you start the conversation. And remember, when our partner's hurt, we just want to be that supportive best friend. You're going to come out so far ahead and save yourself thousands and thousands and thousands in couples therapy if you can just swallow that ego, be that friend for them, step forward into that role and allow things to play out versus being the combative opponent. Good luck.